Okay, compound interest. And if I was you, I would write down the word compound interest so you know that the first video is on compound interest. I'm not going to tell you what to write down. This is not elementary school. Of course, that whole habit goes all the way to high school. So you're going to want to write these things down, and just high points, just words that you'll recognize under this heading. You don't have to copy everything on the board. One way or another, I'll get it up there where you can see it, okay? But if it helps you keep track of what's going on, you can copy stuff down. Just when I ask you to do something, stop copying and start doing it, okay? And we get over that, and we're all pretty good at that now. Okay, compound interest. Let's say we get 12% annual interest and it's compounded annually as opposed to just, well, we'll look at the alternative, but okay. What does it mean? Okay, well, let's say I give you how much money you want to invest? $2 million, $3 million? Now let's go with something more realistic, a number that you can understand, $1,000. Okay? Everybody's got $1,000 in their pocket. They could invest. As a matter of fact, you know, I've got this great investment. You give me the $1,000, and I guarantee that if I don't run off to live in Nicaragua, I'll triple your money. Okay? And don't listen to people like that. You know better to listen to me, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, you're going to invest $1,000. I don't think I'd want to go live in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, right? Nicaragua's pretty unstable. I'd have to kick butt every day. It'd be tiring. Okay? Now, okay, invest $1,000. Okay? How much interest are you going to have at the end of the year? Well, it's going to be 12% of $1,000. What's 12% of 1,000? 120. If you didn't do that instantly, please set your calculator on a solid rock and take a sledgehammer and break it. The rock and the calculator. Okay? You want to do this with attitude. If you need a calculator to do 12% of 1,000, you have a problem that you need to fix. Either you don't know what 12% means, or you don't know how to multiply 0.12 times 1,000. In addition, you don't have a reference that 10% of 1,000 is 100, and 12% of 1,000 is going to be a little more than that, and pretty obviously 120, right? If you can't do that mental arithmetic, if you don't understand percent that well, well, I've actually seen people who have arithmetic problems at that level who are really very good conceptually with their mathematics. Get them away from arithmetic and they do great, okay? But don't be that person because you can't really function well if you can't do really simple calculations, okay? And have a simple, a decent understanding of where you can take 10% of any number, okay? It's a good reference point. Or 50%, you know, well, just easy percents. Okay, anyhow, 12% of 1,000 is $120. That's 0.12 times 1,000 equals 120. Okay? And if you don't understand percents, there are 10 billion good explanations on the web about percents. Okay? Written, video, sell you a chip to implant in your brain? No, they don't do that yet. They might say, yeah, look, if you got $1,000, I got this chip you can implant in your brain. You got to implant it yourself. Okay? So you're taking any surgical risks on your own, but I'll sell you that chip. Okay? Actually, that sort of thing maybe isn't too far off. Probably not within the next decade or two, but maybe within 2. Okay, just guessing. Okay, so $120, right? So how much money are you going to have at the end of the year? Okay, every $1,000 plus $120. Because, of course, when you invest, your principal is how much money you have in that investment, right? At whatever time. So your principal is going to be $1,000 plus $120 because we let you keep your principal and we add the interest to your principal. Okay? So, got that? Okay, so how much are we going to have at the end of the second year? What are you going to have to do to find the principal at the end of the second year?
Times 1,120 times 12%.
Yeah, you're going to take 12% of this, not this, right? If it was simple interest, if it wasn't being compounded at the end of the year, you just go back to your original and just take 12% of that. Well, which would you rather do for the second year? Take 12% of this or take 12% of this? Well, you're going to take 12% of this because you're going to get more interest, right? Because this is bigger and you're familiar with the fact that the same percent of a bigger number is going to give you a bigger number. I'm pretty sure everybody understands that. Okay, so so I can kind of summarize that for the second year. Interest is % of 1120, right? Okay. And what's that? Well, I'll figure it out. 12% of 1,000 is 120. 12% of 100 is 12. 120 and 12 is 132. 12% of 20 is $2.40. Okay? So your interest is going to be $134.40. I think. Now, I'm not sure I remembered all those numbers right, but working memory decreases with age, and I'm almost 30. 40, not 60. Okay? You can fix my calculation. Incidentally, calculators are now legal after the midterm. Okay? You've earned the right to use calculators. Okay? Because, among other things, I don't necessarily expect you to do that one by hand. You could easily, but it's quicker with the calculator, and I don't want you to take forever to do these, okay? As you have up till now. Okay, so 134.40. Again, trust but verify. Trust me to try to get these numbers right, but do your own verification, right? I think there's a fairly high probability that's right, but there's a significant probability in there that I'm not. Okay? So anyhow, it's this. Okay? Well, what's going to happen in the third year? You're going to take 12% of this, okay, which is going to be even more. Okay? You're going to get more interest every year. You get $14.40 extra interest on this. Okay? You get $14.40 more interest in the second year than you got in the first year. Okay? Okay, so a little algebra. Okay, so in function notation, first of all, just P of 0 equals 1,000. P of 1 equals 1120. P of 2 equals 1254.40. And do incidentally start bringing your calculators to class if you don't. I mean, if it's on your phone, you've already got it, I'm sure. But okay, whatever. But it's going to help you to have a calculator in class. Okay. So you can verify these things instantly, so I know if I'm doing good or not. Kind of. Okay. Okay. So we got this right. Okay. We understand the notation. This is function notation. Principal at 0 years is this. Principal of 1, that's the principal after 1 year, and so forth, right? Okay? Okay, well, I'm going to say this. Principal after 1 year equals principal after 0 years plus the principal after 0 years times 0.12, right? Does that make sense? Isn't that the same calculation we did here? Okay, what's principal of 0? It's $1,000, right? What's a principal of 0 times 0.12? It's $1,000 times 0.12, which is $120. How did we figure out the principal? We did $1,000 plus the $120, right? Now there's going to be a pattern to this. Principal after 2 years is the principal after 1 year plus principal after 1 year times 0.12, right? Okay? Because what's the principal after 1 year? It's 1120, right? How did we figure out the principal after the second year? We multiplied the 1120 by 12%. Well, P of 1 is the 1120, right? That's times 12%, and we added that to the P of 1, which is 1120, and that's how we got this, right? Okay, so write down for me, what's P of 3?